Hello, Cancer friends. I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my Cancer March 2025 Astrology Horoscope Forecast. Wow, what a month. March will likely be one of the most intense months of the entire year. I'm calling the theme of this month for Cancer, the big break that changes everything. And I'll go into all the details about what is going on there. This is for you if Cancer is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Cancer placement you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. Very late degree Cancer friends, so birthdays like July 15th through the rest of the sign, or 23 degrees Cancer placements through the rest of the sign. I suggest you additionally listen to my Leo report, as your very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. Okay, so there are many levels on which we can discuss this topic of a big break, but the most fun, the most exciting, the most positive potentials, I'm going to start with right here at the beginning. All right, so Ceres, the Sun, Saturn, Mercury, transiting North Node, and for a little while longer until the end of March, Neptune, are all in Pisces, and these are fellow water signs. We also have Mars in your sign. We'll get to that in a minute, but a lot of water energy, and this energy is making the most fabulous aspect in all of astrology for you, the trine, which can deliver things into your lap. Now, the energies that are highlighted by Pisces placements for Cancer specifically is the ninth house of Sagittarius. That is just where Pisces falls in your chart. And so you're having an activation of all things Sagittarius through this stellium of placements. A stellium is 3 or more placements in a sign or a house, and you have double what would be the definition of a stellium. So this ninth house, also Jupiter rules the ninth house, and Jupiter has recently gone direct, bringing even more blessings. But in any case, this big break can come from this amazing set of angles in this lucky house. Okay, so luck, benevolence, things falling into your lap, things coming out of the blue and changing everything, things that have to do with your higher understanding or your change in perspective or immigration or education or learning in any way or international connections or just your way of seeing the world and your way of experiencing life. All of those things can experience a major lucky break. And those types of breaks can change. You only need one of those, right? But you have a chance to have more than one. Because with every planet that's making this configuration, there are opportunities that are present to crack something open. There's a very big theme of things being cracked open at this time. The eclipse time is a time where we're breaking out of a karmic matrix. And we will get to talking about those and where they are and what that can look like, but just to kind of understand the nature of the month, it's a time where old patterns can be cracked out of in an instant, where old karma can be cleared up in an instant, and your new trajectory can be embraced in an instant. So, this is a time of sudden shifts, sudden awakenings, and in many cases, a sudden break that can change everything. All right, so look out for those things and be excited and be optimistic. I've talked about this in other reports before. We have a mechanism in our brain that filters things out called the reticular activating system. This is the place where spirit meets science. Our anatomical science meets the plane of spirituality and the manifestation of the ethereal realm. Because when our filter in our brain is programmed to do something, it obeys. So if we are programmed to look for the difficulties and look for the challenges and find things to be nervous about, our filter will allow us to be more readily available to see the things that will match that description of what we think we want, as far as being nervous and being upset. But as we reset that filter, like for instance, if you're going to try to buy carpet and you never buy carpet, but then when you opened up to buy carpet, you notice there are like 6 carpet places within 10 miles of you. You hadn't seen them before. That's weird, right? That seems like magic. And it is, because magic is just science that either hasn't been figured out yet or that you don't know about yet. And in this case, it's the magic of your reticular activating system. Okay, so you let your consciousness know, I'm looking for carpet, and it streamed through the unconscious things you're passing by all the time and said, aha, that matches. I'm going to bring that to your awareness. And then it gets brought to your awareness. Well, this works with other things too. So your big break can be facilitated by you having an active awareness of and, an optimism and an expectation of something important happening for you at this time. All right, so the mood for the earlier times is very emotional, very watery, very, quiet and internal on the Piscean level. The land of dreams, the land of psychology, the land of synchronicity is all speaking very loudly in your experience at this time. But with each day that progresses, we've got more and more energy and fire in Aries. And we also have Mars, the ruler of Aries, just having woken up a week before March started. So there are a lot of things that are getting ready to move forward. And one of the things getting ready to move forward is stuff in your home and family and housing. Things that have stalled out as of September, October, towards the end of last year, you may be noticing that things are about blazing forward at this point. All right. And that may also be true for things in your physical body, because Mars in Cancer for you is in your first house of your physical body. And this is from your solar chart perspective. If you're watching for your rising sign of Cancer, you'd have to listen to, actually, this is for the perspective of like the rising sign of Cancer. If you want to match it up with your chart, you'd have to look for, well, basically just to suffice to say, when you're watching something for your sun sign, that puts the sun on the ascendant, and that changes the house that a planet will be in compared to if you're watching for your natal chart or rising sign. Okay, so that's why I always say watch for your rising sign and your sun sign, because those are two different charts and they put the positions of the planets in two different places, which is why you may notice that they don't sometimes match up. Okay, so I'm not going to get further into that now, but in this chart, Mars is in your first house, and it is bringing to life things with your authentic expression, with your physical body, with your health, with your vibrance, with what you want to be when you grow up, and, just kind of sorting out who you are and where you are and what you're doing. So that is all awakening. And all of that Aries energy is getting multiplied as the month goes on, because Mercury will get quickly into Aries. The sun will get there when we start the new astrological year on March 21st. Then we have the solar eclipse at the end of the month, ending this 2-year cycle of Aries Libra eclipses. That's activating. Venus is already there. Venus goes retrograde on March 1st into the middle of April. The majority of the time that Venus is in retrograde is in Aries. Long-term planets Chiron and Eris are also in Aries. So, and Neptune actually is going to get into Aries too. I'm doing a separate report on that, so I'm not going to get into that now, but this is a lot of Aries energy, and it's accentuated by the fact that Mars is rolling through your first house of Aries and just woke up there. All right. So this is a lot about individuality and, authenticity and your physical body and your personal pursuits and your personal goals and your personal ways of seeing things. Okay, what this also means is that there's a tremendous amount of Aries energy that is all in a square for Cancer. So this whole thing of the big break, all right? So this is another way of seeing the big break. There are certain things that you have to be cracked out of. And a lot of it may have to do with your work, your career, your employment, your way of being in the world, the way people know you in the world, something with your parents, the molds that you may have been held in, or the viewpoint you might have been looked at through that you took on as your own. There's something that's going on that's changing, and this is a pressure point angle. Pressure point angles are not necessarily things to be worried about, because pressure can be fun. Pressure can be good. Like, let's say you wanted to move and now you're moving and now you have the pressure of packing. Well, yeah, that's pressure, but you wanted to do this, so it's just necessary. And that could be what's going on. There's something with your work goals. There's something with your life goals. There's something with your place in the world that is activated so strongly with all of these Aries placements, and something that's been in the works for years, since 2023 when we started the Aries Libra eclipse cycle. There's something with you versus other people and your relationships versus you. And it specifically manifests in your place out in the world. For some people, the place out in the world, like if you're retired or independently wealthy, it doesn't have to be employment. It's just who you are out in the world, how people know you. But for many people, this will also manifest with your job and your employment and your career. All right. So something's happening there. A new chapter is opening. A culmination to a 2-year storyline is occurring, and you're getting cracked out of a matrix that will help you to get to the next level of expression. And this can be another big break that changes everything. So you've got a smooth way of having big break come in, and you have a pressured way of having a big break come in. But either way, this energy of a big break that changes everything is all over your chart. Jupiter also went direct in February, and Jupiter and Mars got sleepy around the same time, September into October. Their energy started to really decline. So a lot of things that went into sleepy time then may be waking up in a big way now. Progress that was made may all of a sudden come back in a big way. Venus is going to put some other things to sleep. It rules love and beauty and money and relationships. And you may notice certain things cooling down or certain things moving into a retrospective mode. The best thing you can do at this time is to discern which is actively wanting energy and has momentum, and which is going into a backslide. And you can spare yourself a lot of drama and stress by just not avoiding, not trying to make the things going into a backslide not be. You see? So if you align your energies with the things that are already moving forward, and then you notice the things that are slipping backwards and you let them sort of go into a reflective, kind of reevaluation, being okay with not having answers, just experimenting and seeing what happens type of mode, then things will be much easier for you, because Venus retrograde will bring up things from the past in love and beauty and money and self-esteem and appearance and design, for better and worse. Problems swept under the rug in these departments will come back up for you to work with. And, opportunities from the past to regain or recapture love or appearance or money may come back. And it does favor experimenting with low stakes things. People think you can't do anything new during Venus retrograde in Venus ruled areas. That's not true. What is true is that if you wanted to have a very long shelf life, and it's the first launch of its kind that needs to have this oomph for a very long time, and it's something you're trying to implement forever, then, you might want to think about doing it at a different time. But for promos, or for a short-term business, or for a short-term study, like you're studying something for a year and a half, and then you're going to go to the next level of that, things that are within a Venus retrograde cycle, which is 18 months, are the types of things that are good to experiment with at this time, because it matches that cycle. So we say shorter term, but a year and a half could be pretty long term for something, So if there's something that you want to study, maybe you need to get educated to expand your work. Maybe the big break that's coming is you have direction on what you want to do, and maybe the education that comes in to do it. In that case, a Venus retrograde, course of study could be great. Now, if you're committing to like a 5 or 10 year program and everything has to be exactly set, you may notice that over the next year and a half, things with that change. But if your course of study is within that time, then, it's very much indicated by the retrograde. Okay, so bottom line, lots of changes this month. One more thing to discuss is the lunar eclipse at 23 degrees of Virgo, March 13th to 14th. Eclipse season started in the second half of January, so you will have noticed news coming in that will be telling you more about what's happening now then. And then this energy will start to simmer down into April and then May, where the new normal from the changes from the eclipses will come about. But, but this month is very hot, and that's part of why it's the most intense months of the year. So the eclipse in Virgo is activating the energy of Virgo, which is your health, your pets, your daily experience. It's activating your work life, whatever you do every day, your office dynamics, your systems. And specifically for Cancer, this is activating your third house of communication and transportation and mobility and, just anything that helps you to communicate better and your way of communicating. So there are going to be changes in those arenas. Watch out. Don't drop your phone in the toilet. Okay. Be careful with your car. Don't be texting and driving or walking and texting or, I think that's good practices to have anyway. And I wish that better discernment would be implemented there for sure. But at this eclipse time, it makes the odds more increased that something will happen to the phone, to the device, to the car, if there's just a chaos kind of around this energy of something that is ready to break or ready to crack. So just be aware of that. And it could open you up into your next level of communication or your next level of mobility. And that could be, how it manifests. Or there could be something notable that happens with one of your relatives, like an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, nephew, or somebody like that, because this third house embodies those energies as well. It could be the completion of a writing project, because this is a Gemini house ruled by writing. And since Jupiter awakened in the sign of Gemini last month, then it's very possible that there's some writing or a communication project that the eclipse is helping to bring to completion, and that Jupiter is helping to push into that completion as well. Venus retrograde is a fantastic time for promos. I am also running a promo. You get all of the other courses in my school for free. That's $1,100 worth of free courses when you register for my astrology certification course. I'm also giving a brand new promo only available through this venue. It's not publicly available. The Celestial Mindscapes, which is 12 hours of 1 hour each of zodiac harmonizing frequencies to help you sort out imbalances from zodiac energy within yourself and to open up to synchronicity and self-fulfillment and self-discovery. So you can see all of that at beastropro.com, beastropro.com. And if you want all of my content early and don't want to miss any of my content, YouTube definitely doesn't post to everybody who is subscribed to me. So if you want to make sure that whether it's podcast version you listen to or whether it's YouTube, that you don't want to miss anything, I am doing weeklies and new moon and full moon and monthly for the sign. So if you sign up at anniehelpsyou.com, you get my retrograde resource guide, my eclipse resource guide, which will help you utilize these energies in much better ways and understand what's up for you. And you'll get my content early and you won't miss anything. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you in the next report. Bye for now.